A very good morning to you all. Welcome to your English 2 class. And how was your exam? I know it was very good. You all have answered everything correctly. And let us now pull up our socks for the half yearly examination, which is not so far away. So, we will be beginning with a new chapter today, as that chapter is included in your syllabus. We Are the Music Makers. There is a poem named We Are the Music Makers by Arthur William Edgar O'Shaughnessy. Okay, so this poem is very close to my heart, and I know the students or the people or the audience, those who are well acquainted in contemplating and imaginating and thinking or brooding over something and keep on creating things. Can be a poem, can be a song, can be a dance, can be a poster, can be anything it be. Okay, so I know they can relate with this poem very much, because this poem is all about the artists all over the universe, those who are somehow related to anything that is creative. Okay, so let us begin. But before we start, as we know, we need to know about the author. So Arthur William Edgar O'Shaughnessy, who was a British writer of Irish descent. He was born in London. Among his notable friends, D.G. Rossetti and Ford Madox Brown were very important and significant. He was very much influenced by the pre-Raphaelite poets. There were a few very young painters who actually rebelled against the ancient or historical unimaginative sculpture and paintings. They wanted to be sincere towards their task, and they wanted to create something that has that has something to do with the art, and that has its contemporary basis, and they wanted to create something innovative and not the artificial historical painting. So he got inspired by these painters very much, and he was also inspired by French poetries, and which resulted him into writing such a great masterpiece, We Are the Music Makers. It was included in his collection of poems Music and Moonlight in the year 1874. His notable works are Ode, and this particular poem is very famous for its opening lines, We are the music makers, and we are the dreamers of dreams. And this famous phrase, that movers and shakers, this originated from this poem and then become a very common usage term in our in our colloquial language since then. So now we will be beginning with the poem, but let us know something about the poem first, then we will go for line by line explanation. The poem is written praising all the people who are engaged in artistic creativity. Okay, can it be singer, dancer, painter, musician, sculptors, wanderers, anyone it can be, but they all are artistically creative, and they are always there to search for the untold truth, cannot be discovered through our mundane eyes, but can be discovered only with their deep and profound imagination. Art is the expression of man's inborn sense of beauty. Yes, but we common people are lacking in praising or expressing with the innocence of beauty. It is closely associated with artist understanding of life and reality. Yes, this we can easily differentiate between common people, those who think commonly. Okay, for they are completely different from those who has actually a power of imagination. So their way of looking at everything is very much different. Their definition of life and reality is also very different. So according to a poet, the people associated with creativity has a power to bring a new dawn, a new idea with their own thought and creativity, and break the customs and conventions and traditions that are dominating the society since time immemorial. The writers, painters, sculptors have the power to express innocence, sincerity, spirituality of art in their works. This ability we actually lack in. Artists become immortal through their works of creation. We all know, our beauty, our outward presence, whatever we are given mundane, will just decay with every passing moment. But it is the work of the artist that is making them immortal, and they will be ever remembered and commemorated by the audience. So they can build walls, great cities, and conquer a crown. Through their works, they can make the reader feel in that a way that they can conquer a crown any moment. They can make great cities. So world's great cities can be made with their revolution, with their utmost imagination, right? The poet alludes to the biblical Nirvana and Tower of Babel to symbolize universality of human rise and fall. The artist can create myths as well as demolish them. Yes, we have read many myths. They are created by artists, definitely. But if required, they can demolish and they can create their own revolution with their new thoughts. So only artists can do that. They are given this supernatural, we can say, power to think from this point of view, which the common people generally lack in. So every artist blows the small trumpet of his defiance against the walls of every power through his art. Every artist is successful in their own ways. They all can blow the trumpet of joy. Okay, they all can do that after accomplishing their work of pure art, right? So now we will be beginning with the poem. Hope the text is available with all of you, and if you don't have, don't worry, just pause the video, go to the study material section just to download that and come back quickly. Okay, so let us begin. I won't be teaching the whole poem today. I'll be just talking about 2 stanzas, and the third one I will teach in the next class. No need to be in hurry, we have time. Just read thoroughly and in detail. Though this poem is of 9 stanzas, first 3 stanzas are very famous and that are included in your syllabus. So we are the music makers. Here we are. So the stanza begins with a straightforward manner. The poet is speaking using first person narrative, and the poet indicates the poem to all the artistic people in the society. We are the dreamers of dreams. Now see, we are the music makers, MM. So as we know, this is alliteration. The consonant sound in the beginning of both the words are same. And we are the dreamers of dream, D and D, that is also alliteration. We can also say this, music makers, dreamers of dreams. These are metaphor, and these are metaphors because Here it is talking about something that shows the art, okay, and that actually makes people different from others. Music makers, dreamers of dreams. This is metaphor. And what does that mean? So this is very interesting to note that the poem does not refer to any particular section of the artist in this poem. Rather, he is referring all the artists all over the universe. And the music makers means what? They can create music. Music can be created through poetry. Music can be created through dancing. Music can be created through art. So any type of art. So we are the music makers. We, the artists. And dreamers of dreams, because we have the ability to dream for something. They are the dreamers and perceive the world from the fanciful eyes of romantic. So here they differ from the common people because they have the romantic eyes to see everything in the cover or in the under the veil of fancy. Okay, so they are someone who even if they know the reality, they have their own color to paint things, and that is much romantic and fanciful. So they are able to dream. They are able to wander or roam in their world of fancy. Wandering by lone sea breakers. They can wander by lone sea breakers. Here sea breakers, this is the boundary which actually helps the sea to be in its place, and it helps the surroundings not to get affected. So they can break that. And sitting by a desolate stream, and they can also sit by a forlorn stream. So the artists wander alone by seashores or sometimes sit and contemplate on isolated streams. World losers and world forsakers. So world loser means who are not successful in owning the the materialistic object in the world, who can renounce the materialistic object more willfully. Okay, so in that way they are losers, because if we compare the artist to so-called very famous doctors, engineers and other very very classy professions, we can say they are not that much successful and rich in terms of the objective in terms of the objective wealth. Okay, but they are rich with imagination. They are rich to bring a revolution that is needed in the society. They are rich in that way. So in that way we can say they are world losers and world forsakers. Forsaker means who can abandon the material pleasure of life and seek the meaning of existence. Okay, that quality is present in them, which these people actually lack. Upon whom the pale moon gleams. So on them only the pale moon that is glimmering. The moon is not shining very brightly. Only the pale moons are glimmering. Yet we are movers and shakers of the world forever. Yes, if they are movers and shakers means we can say, as I told you, pain is mightier than sword. This proverb is known to us. known to all of us. So we know that they have the power to combat against the tradition, to combat against the rigidity, to combat against the inflexibility. Okay, they know how to break this world, and they know how to create a new by breaking all this whatever is old in its existence, in its priority, in its value. And we can say Arthur O'Shaughnessy too believes that every artist can create a utopic world filled with joy and perfection by discarding the orthodox convention and encouraging innovative thoughts, as I told you. That is why they are rightly called as movers and shakers nowadays. This phrase, not nowadays, this phrase is very famous and often is used in colloquial language. Next stanza. With wonderful deathless ditties. Wonderful deathless ditties. Deathless means what? Immortal. And ditties here songs, but actually he wanted to mean all the artistic creation, not only song. We built up the world's great cities. With their thought, they can create wonderful and everlasting, they can create wonderful cities, wonderful utopic cities through their everlasting songs, through their everlasting creations. And out of a fabulous story, we fashion an empire's glory. We have read many stories so far, and we all are very eager to read more new stories, right? Why? Because in stories something is written that is not possible to get in the mundane world. That world is full of perfection. There you can create everything, okay, but in reality they have no basis. So here they are saying, the poet is saying that, and out of a fabulous story, a story that is fabulously fabricated, we fashion an empire's glory. There we can find an empire's glory. One man with a dream at pleasure shall go forth and conquer a crown. This actually gives the audience or the readers the liberty to think further, to imagine further, and to feel their dream with a pleasure, shall go forth and conquer a crown. That may encourage them to go further and conquer a crown. While reading the story, we are often lost while we read a story, while we listen to a song, while we are lost in something that is creative. We are just buoyed away with the flow of that, and that actually we started believing in things that is said, that is presented to us. So it is told that yes, we are given the liberty to conquer a crown, and three with a new song's measure can trample an empire down. And it also gives imagination, fascination to other men. Other men, it gives them freedom so that they can bring about a revolution and and bring the downfall of the empire. So we can conquer a crown, we can make the empire fall down. Okay, so that is there in us, and what gives us that power to imagine, that freedom to think or just direct our thoughts in that way? This is nothing but the artistic creation, can be done by the artistic people only. So here the poet alludes to the supremacy of the artist over the common people. Yes, they they are superior, they have supremacy than common people. Every artist is extraordinary by virtue and their magnificent art. They can inspire others to build up a world, great cities with their immortal creation. Their weaving of imaginative stories filled with enigmatic charm and fantasy can actually fashion an empire's glory. They have the power to push society forward. They are the indirect leaders of the world, which actually gives us the revolutionary minds to go beyond the tradition, to go beyond the orthodox society. And their immortal, imperishable creations are above the decaying power of time. Time will decay everything, but not their works, because they are immortal. One has the power to emerge victorious and conquer a crown, whereas a few confident and determined revolutionaries can trample the empire down. Their art outlives every society and every civilization. So the third stanza I won't teach today. For today only 2 stanzas. Just do read properly. This is my request to you all. Do read properly. Try to relate. Okay, so only then the poem will appear to you very beautiful. Try to fetch the inner thought of the poem. How the poet is desperate to, portray the livelihood of the artist. Maybe they are not successful in terms of owning materialistic pleasure, but they are successful, rather they are the leaders who actually compelled us to think beyond the beyond the out of the things, beyond what is there inside the box. It is responsible to make us think out of the box. Okay, because they are leaders in an indirect sense, and they actually allow us to conquer a crown. They allow us to trample an empire down. So everything is there in their writing only. They are not someone who are very violent and very desperate to show us something so that we can follow their path. No, they write this innovative piece with much specification and much emotion, which definitely move the heart of the readers, and it allows them to think what is not thought yet. Okay, so this is one of my favorite poems. You will get the summary, the central thought, this 2 stanzas explanation, and about the poet, everything there in your study material section. And not much, 1 or 2 questions you may get in the worksheet section. Okay, so do read things, go by my class. As we know, from next week onwards we are going to have live classes. So there, if you have any doubt, you can ask me directly. I'll be there, I'll be present there to clarify that. And yes, you know the other means also. You can comment, you can email, whatever you like, but clarify all your doubts. This is half yearly, so be very serious. So I am not here to terrify you all, but I am here to motivate you all so that you can have a smooth journey, right? And I know we are reading poetry right now. This is what to say, this is something we can call a valuable creation of art. This is something which moves us emotionally. This is something which allows us to think like the poet, the way he or she wants us to imagine. So this can be created only by this poetry and other art forms. Obviously, we are reading right now the poetry. Try to grab the emotion. Don't go by the literal meaning only. Try to go deeper. It has a profound meaning, and I am there to inspire you all. After going through this, maybe you feel like writing a poetry, write a song, compose a dance, anything. Just let me know how much did you enjoy reading it, and if you have any difficulty, please feel free to ask, right? So I am here to end the class now. I'll meet in the next class, and till then, do study well. Take care of yourself, take care of everyone around you, and have a great day ahead. Thank you for being so patient.